So I'm sure that some of you wanted to know my thoughts on the Resident Evil 7 announcement, and I'm going to share those thoughts with you, but I don't think you'll like the answer. I'm absolutely disappointed with the announcement of Resident Evil 7. And I know that I've said in the past, whether it be on air or during previous videos, where I have stated that I was not really interested in Resident Evil 7. While I did say that, I was hoping that at least if it was going to be announced, that Capcom would somehow intrigue me with the announcement and get me semi-interested in what they're going to be doing with Resident Evil 7. And make no mistake, I do like a lot of the ideas that are in Resident Evil 7, like the fact that it's going back to horror, it's going to have you play as some average Joe who isn't a super soldier and hasn't had, like, military training or police-grade training. So those are good things, and technically speaking, those aren't really new things to Resident Evil. It's been done before in some way or another, but the direction that 7 is taking with this whole, like, first-person thing and very PT vibe that's going forward in indie-developed horror games is not something I had in mind when Capcom was talking about bringing the series back to its roots. And I know I kind of sound like a purist by saying that I don't really like the first-person aspect of this demo and what they're going for with Resident Evil 7 so far. And truth be told, I really don't mind the first-person aspect, but I just don't think that it should be tied to the mainline Resident Evil series. I mean, we've had first-person Resident Evil games in the past, but they were mostly side games. And I'm very well aware of the fact that Capcom has stated that this is not accurate to what the official build of Resident Evil 7 will be like. It's mostly a tech demo for the new engine, as well as what the atmosphere is supposed to be for the official game. And I'm getting conflicting messages about this. Some people have told me that this is probably going to end up being in third person, and from what Capcom has said yesterday officially during their one of their E3 streams, they had stated that it was going to be primarily first person, and on the official Capcom Unity page, it also says that the game is meant to be first person. So I'm getting conflicting messages. Is it really going to be third person and this is just part of the tech demo, or is Capcom just going full on first person with this game? So as it currently stands, personally, I don't think I'll be doing anything Resident Evil 7 related. I'm just not interested in the direction that Capcom is taking Resident Evil 7 in. As I said before, I do like the horror aspects of it, and I do like some of the ideas behind this iteration of Resident Evil, but something about it just doesn't really sit well with me. I don't know what it is. It is partially the first person, but I think there's other vibes of it that don't sit well with me, like the fact that it just feels like everything else that's out there on the market right now in terms of indie horror games, and it also kind of feels like very Silent Hill rather than Resident Evil. Of course, they did say that the tech demo is not representative of the actual game, so my opinion is bound to change on it, but as it stands, I'm really not liking what I see with Resident Evil 7. So I'll leave off on these last two things that I want to say. The first being is that while I've said privately that I'm not interested in touching the demo because it was just too different to me, I'm going to change my mind on that and actually play the demo and make an opinion based on what I think about the demo itself rather than just the announcement. That said, I am downloading the demo as we speak, so, you know, it's only a matter of time before I actually play it for myself, but I have seen playthroughs of the said demo. The other thing is that, as you can see right here, I have a 20th anniversary Resident Evil project going on, and I'm working on several different video projects, and at the very bottom, Resident Evil 7 is on there. Currently, it's listed as undecided, because I don't know if my opinion will change on it to where I'll actually like it and be willing enough to do a video on it, or if I just decide to just cancel that particular part of the project and just work on other things and just ignore Resident Evil 7 and be more focused on things like the Resident Evil 2 remake. So while I'm currently not in favor of the direction that Capcom is taking Resident Evil 7 in, My opinion is bound to change when more information comes out, and if the rumors about Capcom actually turning this game into a third-person game rather than a first-person game turn out to be true. But as it stands, I'm going to stress heavily that I don't like the direction that Capcom is taking this game in, and I'm more than likely just going to vote with my wallet and not purchase Resident Evil 7 if it turns out to be true that Resident Evil 7 is in fact just first person. In any case, I'm pretty much done talking for today, but I'm hoping that with my thoughts out of the way, I just wanted to be able to share my opinion on what we currently know about Resident Evil 7 and just my thoughts on the direction that Capcom is taking it in. So I hope that some discussion could be had and not just, bickering and arguing about whether or not people should have the right to even complain about the current direction that Capcom is taking the game in, but I'm very doubtful of that. So in any case, here's to hoping, but who knows. So if you like this video, if you want to see more, just be sure to follow me on Google+, Twitter, and on Twitch, and I'll see you guys on the next one.